Today we will begin with module number 1, which is about the business model. In this module, we will understand what niches are and what intent means. If we can understand these two things clearly, niches and intent, then a completely new dimension of the business model will open up for us. I will explain these two concepts in detail, and inshallah, all your doubts will be cleared. I've simplified the concept of the business model to such an extent that you can think of it as being stored inside a small jar. Now, we don't need to go out and explore every type of business model. For example, if someone wants to start e-commerce, they usually ask how to find a niche, how to analyze its profitability, how to check for seasonality, and so on. But we are not going to do that. Instead, we'll focus on intent. Intent is the foundation of business modeling. Next, in our business model, we'll look into budgeting. For example, once we've chosen a business model, how do we plan its budget? We need to know the cost, how much investment is required, and whether this business is even worth pursuing or not. If it turns out it's not suitable, then we can skip it and move on. So basically, we'll be using AI as an assistant in this entire process. Right now, let's explore our business models a bit. There are some important terms that we'll be using frequently in upcoming lectures. One of them is domain or domain name. For example, google.com or yahoo.com, that's called a domain name. Then there's the term subdomain. What's a subdomain? For example, vapda.gov.pk. Here, vapda is a subdomain of gov.pk. In simple terms, whenever you see two dots in a domain name, the part that comes before the first dot is the subdomain. Similarly, what is a niche? A niche is the main topic of the website. This is extremely important, and I will explain it in detail through various upcoming videos. Why will I explain it so thoroughly? Because your business model will be extracted from this niche. You need to understand its profitability, how big the opportunity is, how difficult the space is, how much investment is required, what potential it holds, how much hard work and energy it will demand, and how much estimated time it could take. All of this depends on the niche that is the main topic of your website. That's when you'll understand why I say that even after the rise of generative AI, blogging is still alive and search engine optimization is still alive. Let me give you a few examples to make it clearer. Let's say your niche is T20 World Cup 2024. This could be the central topic of your website, or it could be Women's Fashion 2024, or even Pesco Bill. These are examples of website niches. We'll discuss this in more detail in future videos, but for now, these examples are enough so you don't get confused. Your success, failure, budgeting, profitability, seasonality, effort, everything depends on the niche you choose. That's why this module is the most important one, and that's why I'll be focusing on it the most. You have to put all your energy into exploring untapped niches, those where you have no competitors and where you can completely dominate. Do you understand now why I keep emphasizing this? Because at the end of the day, all of this leads to one thing: money. Another term we'll frequently use is keyword. What is a keyword? It's the text you type into Google when you search for something. That's called a keyword. Simple as that. Then comes search volume. What does that mean? It tells us how many times a keyword is searched for in a month and where it is searched. For example, if I search AZ Services YouTube channel, we can find out how many times this keyword is searched each month. That number is its search volume. This will clear up many misconceptions for you. For example, if I search for AZ Services YouTube channel on Google, I can check how many times it's been searched in the past month. That's what we mean by search volume. It plays a very important role in determining the strength of your niche. Next term is search engine. We all know what that is, but whenever I mention search engine, I'll be referring specifically to Google because Google holds the largest share of the market, about 88%. After that, there's the term SERP, which stands for Search Engine Results Page. Let's say I search AZ Services YouTube channel on Google. The first page of results that appears is called the SERP. Anytime you search something on Google, the result page that shows up is a SERP. Now let's talk about trends. Earlier we talked about search volume, like how many times a keyword is searched in a month. Now we go a bit deeper. What if I want to know how that keyword performed over the last few months? Suppose in May, my channel was searched 5 times, in June 10 times, and in July 50 times. That shows a trend, an upward interest over time. Let me actually show you. I go to Google Trends, search for the word sourcing, and set the time period to the past 30 days. You'll see a graph that shows the level of interest. This graph tells us when people were most interested in this topic. Let's say I search for t-shirts in a cold region. Do you think people there will be interested in t-shirts? Obviously not. That keyword won't trend in that area because it's not relevant. This is where we understand the seasonality of a niche, whether it peaks only once a year or remains consistent throughout all 12 months. We check this using Google Trends. We also frequently use the term KD, which stands for keyword difficulty. This is something you'll definitely remember. Remember how we defined a keyword. It's the query or text you type into Google. That keyword could also be the niche of your website. Now don't worry, it's not too complicated. A niche is the main topic of your website and a keyword could be one of the many subtopics under that niche. That's why we use two separate terms. Every subtopic isn't a niche, it's a keyword. Now let's understand keyword difficulty. Let's say I find a keyword with a good search volume. The niche is evergreen, the keyword has potential to rank in SERPs and the trend is positive. But then I check its KD keyword difficulty to see whether it's within my range. Did I pick a keyword that's too competitive? If yes, then I'll be stuck saying SEO is dead because I can't get my site to rank. You get my point. The lower the KD, the easier it is to rank. It's that simple. SEO is actually very straightforward. Lastly, there's a very important concept, search intent or user intent. You need to understand this clearly. It's absolutely essential for bloggers, digital marketers, and anyone working online. I've introduced the concept of intent in today's lecture, and in the next video, we'll start from here. What is search intent and what is user intent? I think today's class has gone a bit long, so let's stop here. We'll meet again in the next session. Allah Hafiz.